Minister Colin Crowell, Minister of Housing and Water, Chairman of the Regional Democratic Council, Region 2, Ms. Vilma De Silva, Senior Management and Staff of the Central Housing and Planning Authority, Ms. Denise Tudor, our Director of Operations and Acting Chief Executive Officer, members of the media, partners that are here with us today, and that is the banks and also the insurance companies, and you, of course, the beneficiaries of today's activities. Welcome to this housing outreach for Region 2. I'd like to let you know or remind you that it's an exciting day, so not even the weather will get us down. I know it's a bit of an issue getting in here, but unfortunately, Mother Nature has to do its stuff, and the region is working to see what can be done there. I wouldn't want to keep you waiting much longer, so at this point in time, I'd like to invite our regional chairperson, Ms. Vilma De Silva, to address you. Please welcome her. Thank you.
Thank you, PS. Honorable Minister of Housing and Water, Minister Colin Crowell, and senior staff of Ministry of Housing, and of course, Region 2, you the beneficiaries. A pleasant good morning. I am indeed delighted once again to have in our midst our Honorable Minister, who has been working along with his team tediously to ensure that everyone has a house lot and ownership. Because as you know, back in the days, we had a lot of squatting. And I want to take this opportunity to commend our minister for the hard work that he has been doing to ensuring that we don't have such activities again and you have title to your land. And this is what we're calling a caring government. We want to ensure that our people have some sort of title and not squatting, that you can't move forward. And I want to commend him from the bottom of my heart for seeing that this does not happen again. And we have been, I think, Minister will speak how many backlog of applications we had in the system. And to date, he will give you the figure of how many persons benefited from their transport, that they can have something. All people have said a kagaj in their hand now, that they could go to the bank and have their, homes built and built in a proper manner, legally. So our government wants to ensure that our people are legal and nobody can come and take that away from them. And you have collaterals now that you can go to the bank. And we have so much more to offer, so much more to ensure that our people's lives in Region 2 are comfortable. We have been working. This morning, I have to step out, I told Minister, because we're launching the aeronautic training program at ETI there, where we will have 25 persons trained in that field. So we are looking after our people. We are building our human capacity within the region, and we have to say hats off to His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali for ensuring that the lives of our people of Region Number 2 are being improved, whether it's with housing and, of course, human development. You know, we have the expansion of all the schools and everything that we're doing. And I think before I close, I want to say, and I want to beg of you, as you know, we have already in the campaign mood, so we're asking that you give His Excellency another term, that we can ensure that much, much more be done in our beautiful region. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman, for Region 2, Regional Democratic Council, hard-working chairperson. Please give her a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, fellow citizens, as you know, this exercise reflects our government's ongoing commitment to ensuring that every citizen has access to adequate housing. We have been working all across this country, and this, of course, is the vision of His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali about housing. As you know, he was a former housing minister, and he's now the president of our beloved country. The programs that we have are meant to affect or to be beneficial to all citizens of Guyana, every single one in every part of this country. The Ministry of Housing and Water has been working in every single region with our housing projects. So I want you to reflect on this, of all the work, not only within the housing sector, but also Guyana Water Incorporated that we're doing. That's a sister agency of the ministry. As you know, the ministry is part, you have the administration, you have the Central Housing and Planning Authority, and you also have Guyana Water Incorporated, working very hard along with the other ministries and other agencies to make sure that all Guyanese benefit from the services that the government have to offer. Let me also take this opportunity to thank, or to invite you also to join with me in thanking all of our staff. You don't know the hours and the days of the week that they work to make sure that all these exercises can come to fruition. So please join me in giving them a great thank you for all the hard work that they are doing. Ladies and gentlemen, pulling off what we have done in terms of the manifesto and going beyond the manifesto in terms of house lot allocation is not an easy task, because it involves many departments within the ministry and cooperation with other agencies. But at the head of the ministry, it takes the leadership, the vision of the Excellency or President, and then the execution part of it, the ministers within the Ministry of Housing and Water. Honorable Minister Colin Crowell and Honorable Minister Susan Rodriguez have been working all across this country to make sure that the house lots are there, that the lands are developed, that the paperwork that is required to be done to get it together, that everything is done in time. And that is why we are here again in Region 2 for this other housing outreach, to make sure that our citizens benefit from these housing programs. So I'd like for you to join me at this point in time in welcoming Honorable Minister Colin Crowell to address you. Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, our Permanent Secretary, Mr. Bisram Kupen. Recognition to our Regional Chairperson, Ms. Vilma De Silva, the Director of Operations for CHPA and performing the responsibility for Central Housing and Planning Authority, Ms. Denise King Tudor, somewhere under the building. Oh, at the side. You always have to look for her because she's always among the staff. The staff of CHPA, who you see here this morning in the uniformed color. We have representatives from the banking sector, insurance companies, Guyana Water Inc., members of the media, but more importantly, you who are here this morning from Essequibo Coast. A very good morning to you. And just like the weather, we sung a bit lukewarm. So let me go again. Good morning to you. Thank you, much better. And we are here today, a continuation of our program in the housing sector. And first of all, I want to start off with a recognition of our commitment. Because you'll recall only a few years ago, in fact, 5 years ago, the housing department was housed downstairs at the RDC building. And then recognizing that we're doing more, the expansion of services, a need for us to strengthen our arm in the region, we then received this building on my left, through the regional administration of Region 2, and I want to publicly thank them. And so this area in which you are at is basically a government service hub, you can see, because as you come in, you see various sectors that deliver service to the people of Region 2. And following this now, you will see some improvements in terms of the aesthetics as well as from infrastructure work, so that we can have the area reduced from any flooding, etc. So that's our first commitment that we made, and that is to ensure that we can have an independent section to deliver our service. We said to the people of Guyana, when our presidential candidate came to you, even at your rallies, etc., said to the people of Essequibo that, like what has happened, what is committed for the rest of our country, Essequibo is no exception. Now, the demand for housing and the demand for land continues to grow. The demand for land has competing interests. So here in Essequibo, for example, you have private owners or persons who have leases for mainly for rice production, or in some cases farming. You have some that are under state land. So then the usage in terms of being able to develop further for housing is a variable that has to be taken into consideration. So when we got in, we said to Guyana Lands and Survey Commission that we need additional lands. And so we received additional lands at Charity, and then which is where you know as St. Joseph and Buxton. And then you had additional lands on the Niming, which is basically the phase 4 of on the Niming. I want to ask you to bear with me. The staff will deal with each one of you today that are here. But it's important for us to understand the context. It's not just about turning up here and we push our hand in an envelope, we collect a number, we think that's it. There's a lot of work that goes behind the scene, and that happens afterwards. And when I give you some figures, you'll understand the context in which we're operating. So it's very easy to say, yes, land is in abundance. But we also have, as I said, to compete with interest for land use. Now, Charity, we developed a new Charity scheme. So in 5 years, PS and Chair, here in Region 2 prior to today, we have allocated over 1,271 lots here in Region 2. And I give you that figure in the context that the preceding 5 years, all you had was an allocation exercise of 140. Let me repeat, 140. That 140, we will do double that today on the new area, which I'll speak about in a few. So that is why when after Sunday night, I think the media asked me for comment, when a party that is trying to resurrect themselves asked me for comment because they talk about housing. I said they should not even attempt to speak about housing. And then you also have others who are saying to you, you have a lot of land, land should be free. Everything should be free. Reality of life don't work like that. The reality of life is that as your country earns more, as your government is able to receive more for us from revenue and other streams, so is it being passed on to the people of Guyana. And so is it being passed on to the people of Essequibo. So when we pass a new hospital that will be commissioned very shortly at Lima, that's no coincidence. That is a recognition that what we have at Saudi, because we want to ensure that people of Essequibo have the best level of health care services to be provided. Then a new institution or new building, a new facility was required, and to be able to offer all the services. That's where your resources go towards. We talk about free, but your health care services is provided free in the hospital. Almost all of us here this morning, each one of us here has a family member, a very close family member that lives overseas. Each one of us here. You ask them. If they're in North America, if you don't have insurance, well, your cork is docked where health care services is provided. Dental services, they travel back to Guyana, they do dental service here because it's cheaper. So the services that are being provided now more, whether to be able to have your scan done, whether to test or do certain tests, is no coincidence. Is being provided free of charge to the people of Guyana. That's where your resources is passed on. When we speak about building new schools and rehabilitating and pulling down and building out new schools and have expanded classrooms that is state of the art, so you have modern teaching being done. We talk about expansion of the University of Guyana here in the region. That's where your additional resources go towards. Therefore, in every sector, and you'll hear more as the coming days, but in every sector, you can look at and examine and realize that the passing on of the resources is done through various means. So when we say people have more disposable income now, it is not just increased emoluments. That's just a basic level. It is speaking towards where our pensioners in the past, 5 years ago, your pension was $20,500. We said we'll double it. You're getting $41,000 now. It is saying to you now, the pensioners, in the past, when soon as you get your money, you have to buy eye drops and other basic tablets, etc. We forget. It is saying to you that you don't have to do that now. So even that increase that you've gotten you don't have to spend from it because less is being required from your pocket. Whether it's for your children, welfare, education, in terms of not having to buy their textbooks anymore, that is being provided in the school to every child now. A few years ago, this was not happening. Every child going to school has, across the country, has a meal or snack program. That was not happening. You were having a basic breakfast. Every child and every adult, now we've changed it from beyond just a pensioners and child, has free eye care to where your eyes can be tested. Of course, if you want to look like young boy and so like chair, you got to pay more for your spectacle. But a voucher, a young girl and young boy like myself, you have fancy spectacle, you got to pay more, right? But a voucher is provided for you to be able to redeem a spectacle for your child and for yourself. That's where the additional resources is going. We've introduced a new universal health voucher to even do more testing that you want to do that is not even provided in the health services. You can do it privately. That's where your additional resources is going towards. So it's very easy to stand on the stage and say, from tomorrow, each one of you pensioner here should get a minimum of $100,000. Each one of you who earning the minimum wage should be $400,000. It's very easy to jump on a pulpit and say it out. You have to say how you will do it. It's very easy to say lands should be delivered free of cost. And by the way, the cost that you're paying for your land today is heavily subsidized. And we have not increased put any increase on the value of the land that we charge towards you. Because when I speak towards the infrastructure, you'll understand it costs a lot of money. Shortly, when I speak on the area, you will see what you're getting. Because for the last month, I've been seeing comments that say, it's election time, they come in. That's what you're hearing. It's election time, they come in. You must be saying to yourself, you're getting your house slap because it's election time. But I just said to you, you got here in this region over 1,000 plus. It wasn't elections announced yet. So you understand the difference. It is a continuation of our commitment to deliver to the people of Guyana as fast as quickly from our system pending applicants. So today, on the housing side, we are starting today's exercise with over 50,295 allocations. And then when you take into consideration what even is being done on the lands and survey for housing aspect, we're way over 53,000. And this will continue. You already have heard us said. I'm just giving you a preamble, and from Sunday you'll start hearing more about our manifesto. You already heard us said. Our commitment is to ensure that we work continuously so that all of our citizens who are eligible can have access to their own land or home. That's our commitment. And therefore today, we have on offer a new area that we're going to be introducing. So this will be the third area in Region 2. And that is those who know the right pronunciation, but I'm told it's Hofanoric, which is very near to Queenstown. What you're seeing there, just look on the left and the right. What you're seeing there is an overlay of the design for the area. So that's exactly how the area will be designed. Just pause if you can for me. That's exactly how the area will be designed. Pause the video, please. And then to the left, to the right, you see what the area is like? That's how the entire area is. And we will be putting the infrastructure work so that you can have a design, a housing area that will look like what you see on the overlay plan. And this afternoon at 4 p.m., all the persons who will be allocated today, so for those who haven't come yet and will be allocated, the persons who are allocating, please inform as they get their allocation. At 4 p.m., we will have an exercise on the ground. I'm going the extra mile. You see, housing is one thing that I like when they challenge us. And they say we sell in dreams, we sell in plans, and wherever else. Well, I'm taking you on the ground this afternoon at 4 p.m., and we'll show you where your area is. All right? Where you will be allocated. This will be part, so we are starting today with over 100 new areas that we have developed since getting into office. Now, our manifesto to the people of Guyana says 10,000 house lots annually. I just said to you figures that are way over 50,000. So on our manifesto commitment alone, I don't have to say anything further. We have surpassed that. We don't speak to that anymore. So you'll understand our commitment here today is therefore to ensure that everybody is able as quickly as possible to have a better life for yourselves, for your family, and for the generations to come. That is what we're working towards. And similarly here in Region 2, we have had a lot of challenges with areas that have started up and you do not have ownership. So you have work that is being done through central housing. You have work that is being done through the AG chambers. You have work that is being done through Lands and Survey Commission. All towards, depending on where the area falls or who the area falls under, all agencies are working to ensure we fix some of these issues. So every time I come here, and I'm sure somebody will be waiting to speak to me probably when we finish. Every time, for example, you always hear about Lima San, and you also have issues in on the deeming, etc. We have to be truthful to ourselves too. when you go and occupy a land that does not belong to you, you're affecting the development for the person that what the land intended for, and for yourself. And for the agency, you're giving them extra work. Because we have to engage, we have to relocate, a number of things have to be done. And on the naming, as well as charity, no exception. There's the charity in the whole area, that is. So Lima Sands is an area that keep popping up. And when you have visitors coming, you know, I listen to some of these comments that be made by people from Lima Sands. They make it sound like if it's housing create the problem. So housing ain't doing anything for Lima Sands. Lima Sands, we have already completed the block and occupation survey. We have numbered the buildings, in fact 45 in total. So we have an inventory of all those persons who have not been addressed. But some people want what they want. And there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. So if you know me, I say it as it is. So we have to be frontal in dealing with issues. Nevertheless, the cadastral survey is being done or being completed. And sometime by the end of August, those persons that have not been addressed from Lima Sands will be able to have the ownership for their area. And those are 4 to 5 households that I'm referring to in Lima Sands. And then you have people, for example, in Paradise, Jib, Mariah's Lodge, Walton Hall. You have about 60 lots that where persons don't have ownership. We have already completed those occupational survey. The cadastral survey is nearing completion, so simultaneously with the Lima Sands, those persons that were waiting in that portion will be able to receive their title for within Paradise, Jip, Mariah's Lodge, and Walton Hall. I'm giving you these reports, so if people of Essequibo, you have family members, you will understand. And there's a portion in that area where the old road had passed through, or there's a portion that was done because it was left back as a result of the realignment when they were doing the Essequibo Road. Then you have Good Hope Reserve. You have about 40 lots where persons don't have ownership. I'm giving you those that fall under housing. And so the team is working because every area has their plan. So the team is working to, first of all, get the plan so that we can determine the ownership. The ownership, in order for us to progress, is very important before we can move through. So in other words, in Essequibo, from 2011 to now, we have regularized a number of areas, over 226 lots. We have about 190 that are processing titles for areas for persons to receive ownership, because ownership is equally important. I come now to charity. There are persons who have been allocated in charity, and obviously you're asking when you will have access to your land. I can show you your lot today. That's not the issue. Charity, as you know, unlike the Pomeroon, has issues on flooding. And the work has issue on flooding. You would have seen in the news already, or you should have seen, this is being dealt with from 2 fronts. One, through the Drainage and Irrigation Authority. So the Drainage and Irrigation Authority will be putting in new pumps, new drainage pump to address the entire charity area where all those lands are allocated. So that's in addition to what you have there. That already has been tendered, and then through the River and Sea Defense, they are addressing the issue on the charity front end because we have to do some revetment work so that we can eliminate the issue of the flooding at charity. So work has already started. And as I said, we can easily show persons their lot today, but I don't want to show persons their lot and then you'll say, I'm giving you dreams. You must be able to, when we show you a lot, you must be able to, tomorrow, start building. Are we together? And that's the kind of responsible government that you have. So in terms of infrastructure, we have spent over $3.3 billion in infrastructure work here for housing development. But on the naming, the problem still continues of us every time having to go to address somebody who is not living on their right lot. And so we're going to be very aggressive in addressing these matters because it is also being done by your own Region 2 persons. It's not outsiders coming. And they affect ultimately you. Now, the area that you will be allocated today, that's Huff and Oric. It's about 102 acres of land. From the main road, it's about maybe not more than 1.5 miles in. So that will tell you that's not much in, 1.5 miles in from the main road. And we are expecting, because as I speak, the surveyors are actually on the ground because they're examining for us to get additional lands. But we want to move the process. So what we have here today, what we're offering today, is really your first phase on this area. As I said, 104 acres. And we have catered for residential lots. Over 300, close to 400 residential lots we have catered for this area. So on offer today, up to 400 lots for pending applicants based on your numbering that you came, for pending applicants that fall from December 31st, 2024 and prior. Let me repeat, December 31st, 2024 and prior. So if you apply this year, please don't waste the staff time. Right? And they have a number sequence that they're working with to serve everyone. Housing, therefore, is not going anywhere. Housing is not dependent on an election on September 4th. Once there is a People's Progressive Party civic government, there will be continued housing program in our country. So there's no need to have anxiety today. There's no need for you to, in a particular manner, feel that you're being neglected, etc. We're continuing the program. The last thing I want to speak on is to update you quickly on water, because I saw him in the corner here. I want to recognize your regional manager for GWI, standing in the corner, Mr. Gangram. You would have heard us speak continuously. And we still get comments on social media, so I'm going to repeat it again. Our commitment to the people of Guyana is to have on the coastland 100% access to treated water. That's the commitment to the people of Guyana. That work is in progress. So 5 years ago, when we did the assessment, it was 52% coverage. 52%. As I speak, it's in about 85% coverage of treated water on the coast. Our president was here and would have commissioned the new treatment plant on the Niming that takes care of all the persons from at that end. And then we said to you Because if you're in charity and you're going back this way, you'll keep saying, oh, the water rusty, it discolored, the iron content high, etc. The plant, the $1 million being invested at Mariah's Delight, that is expected to be completed in next year, early next year. That will give us the 100% treated coverage here on Essequibo Coast. So I'm not giving you what is in a pipe dream. I'm telling you what's happening. Go to Mariah's Delight and you'll see work happening there. So if you're not getting treated water here on Essequibo, it's because we're waiting on that plant. Massive investment to ensure that over 4,000 households benefit. And already we would have upgraded the lima sand system. So previously, when it did 5 MLD, it's doing about 15 now, Gangram, about 10 or 15. 10. We've doubled it to 10 MLD. That same plant that is right opposite the new hospital. And that is why the persons within that area and its environment, I always used to message and say water turn off nighttime. They're getting the water full time now. And once the other system comes on stream, it will be interlinked, and you won't have all the hassle anymore in Essequibo. And then if you're from Pomeroon and you're here, you know we have a program where we intend to have in every community the access to potable water as part of the Hinterland program. We bought a new pat rig, and it's in the Pomeroon, and it's not even leaving until all the villages have water. So we would have completed in Dredge Creek, St. Monica, Mashabo, which is an upgrade, and Kupoi we did drill as well as upgraded. Then we have Akawini, Bethany, and Karawab in progress. Part of this year, the year is still counting. You have Wakapau, we have 2 wells, Kabakaburi 2 wells, Siriki, Jackalo, Abrams Creek. Mainstay, a 2nd well, we have already tendered that. Should have been awarded by now. So Mainstay is getting a 2nd well, and St. Denis Mission. So it's a massive program for expansion to take care of Pomeroon and the other villages that you more call hinterland villages. So the war program is not just coastland. $12 million investing in Region 2 in this year alone on the hinterland aspect. Over 2,000 households to benefit. I therefore want to congratulate all of you who are here, who will be getting through today, to say to you to have patience. The staff will address you. And then there are another 24 of you who are here to uplift another initiative that your government introduced that you didn't have 5 years ago. And it started by our president upon his announcement in 2022. And that is an initiative to help with the commencement or kickstart of construction for your home. So we have about 24 persons here who will be receiving their steel and cement voucher, an investment about $5.5 million today of vouchers being issued. On this program alone, so when you want to know where your money is going towards, this is where your money is going towards. On this program alone, we have, prior to today, we have issued 189 vouchers for the $7.3 million investment through this initiative for Region 2 alone. And for the entire country, over $500 million for over 2,000 vouchers. So I want to therefore say to you, in conclusion, that there are generally 3 types of persons when you talk about housing. You have those will try to sell you all the dreams, and they can't tell you how they'll do it. And so those are the wannabes yet to come. You have those that had their chance and did nothing. And then you have what is tried and tested. What is our commitment? What is our word? What we put in shrine is that we will deliver on. And you have continuously seen what has been the progress of housing and other aspects of our society under a People's Progressive Party civic government. And so I therefore say to you, on September 1, you will have your own time and initiative to make decisions for yourself. Nobody goes with you. So we can say what we want from here. You are going alone. But you will have your own conscience to guide you. You will have your own memory to guide you. You will have a disposal of information before you to guide you. It is for you to utilize what you have known to guide you further. And I'm sure you'll conclude that certainly the road that you know that has taken you safely and back wherever you need to will be the road you will need to travel on continuously under a next term with President Mohamed Irfan Ali. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Minister Colin Crowell. Please put your hands again for the Minister. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to reiterate what our Minister has just said, sum it all up in one, perhaps a phrase or a few words here. We know what this period is in the country. We know from day one when this government got into office, we have been working. Every single ministry, every single agency has been working, led from the front by His Excellency, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, our President. At this point in time, people are making statements about the performance of ministries, and especially our ministry, as the Minister alluded to earlier. But you know, the proof is always in the pudding, as they say. The evidence is there. The commitments made by the government and the work of the ministry and all government agencies are there for you to see. So the choice is very clear as to what ministers just said. So I want to encourage you to be conscientious in how you proceed from here forth as to your house lot and also in decisions that you will be making shortly. So with that being said, at this point in time, I'd like to invite our housing officer, Ms. Bailey, to give us a rundown on how the process will take place today going forward. Give a round of applause to Ms. Bailey. I'm sorry, before we go on, I'd like to introduce the housing officer for this region, the new housing officer, Mr. Kavendra Prasad. Please give him a warm welcome, and he'll be here to serve you. And of course, we are always available in Georgetown, simply a phone call away if there are issues that cannot be solved here. So please welcome him. You can say a few words.
Sure. Thank you very much. And I like the turnout we have here today. And I would be willing to serve each and every one in region number 2. Thank you.
All right, good morning, everyone. Before we continue with today's activity, I'd like to invite the following persons to the front to do the selection process for their house lot. I'll ask Madam Chairwoman to assist with the first 4 persons. Baby Khan. Baby Sajela Khan. Kindly come to the front, please. Give the chairwoman, yeah. Pamina Lachman next. Hi, come to the front, please. To the front, yeah. Face the camera, yeah. Ms. Lachman, you're next. Followed by Deviknan Gangu. Gangu here. Carmen Singh. Gangu first, please. Just come to the front. Ramona and Philip Diaram. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Yes, kindly assist us with the next following persons. Jasmati Anga. Jasmati Anga here. Followed by Basmati. Basmati next. Basmati. Vanessa Culpepper. Andron Best. Thank you, PS. Honorable Minister, kindly assist with the final persons. Mahindra Budu. Mahindra Budu. Followed by Gangagir. Anita Grosvenor. Shannon Gansham. Shannon Gansham here. Chai Prasad Gangade, Chai Prasad and Nandini Prasad. Mahindra Suku. Him and then the other. Thank you, Honorable Minister. So, the process for today's activity. Persons who are here to select a house lot for the first time, meaning you would not have paid on anything, kindly be seated to the front. Those who are here to query any matters relating to your title or transport, kindly be seated to the back left. And those who have general queries will be seated to the back right. We'll have officers coming to you to assist you in the further process. Those who are doing selections, your names will be called. You were all given a general number. However, you will not be served with that general number that was given. Once you come to the table to do your vetting process, then we will guide you through. You'll do your selection, your payment, and so forth, and the officers will give you guidance. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Ms. Bailey. All right, for the showing this afternoon, you'll assemble at the head of the Queenstown by the digital tower, okay? Now you'll notice some of our employees in red t-shirts or polo shirts. Any questions you have, you can ask them and they'll give you directions. Let us be orderly and thank you for your patience.